From the 10 across the 15 and out to the 23. Fumble! Notre Dame fumbled the opening kickoff. Aeneas Williams, the freshman, put it on the turf.
Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Broish. Two brothers talking Notre Dame football. Notre Dame took care of business yesterday against a pretty tough Louisville Cardinals. I'm sorry. I usually say Cardinals for Stanford. That's who they play next, actually, after the bye week. 31-24, though. Notre Dame takes care of business, and it was a crazy first quarter, as you saw as you watched that opening kickoff fumble by who was that? Who was the returner on that?
In the game live in the game, they said it was Aeneas Williams,
but it wasn't him. It wasn't him. It wasn't Aeneas Williams. It was somebody else. I can't forget his. But whoever it was, he got pulled. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about that more later on in the game because
we weren't confused because we weren't listening to the Peacock broadcast.
We were not. We were listening to the radio broadcast with Ryan Harris, which is way more interesting. Again, if I'm going to stress to you guys, if you guys are Notre Dame fans and you're listening to the TV broadcast, get rid of it. Get rid of it and tune into Notre Dame football. If you got satellite radio, just tune into the Catholic channel. It might take a minute because Catholic channel likes to hang on until the last minute to pray to Jesus before they go to the Notre Dame football game. So just hang in there, though, because they usually end up putting it on a little late. But it does get there. Anyways, Notre Dame with about, let's see, team stats. Notre Dame had 280 yards on the total.
Yes.
They actually got beat 395 by Louisville.
Yep. And that's even on those two short that's a couple things. So Louisville had a short drive there when they got the fumble there after the kickoff, but then Notre Dame had two short fields when they got fumble recovery, two of them, I think. One from quarterback sack and one from muff punt.
From the punt. Yeah. We'll see those plays here shortly. Passing yards, Notre Dame with 163 yards. It's actually they had more passing yards than did rushing yards. 117 rushing yards, 5.2 yards per play. Pretty much even with Louisville. Louisville had 395 yards. They were able to actually move the ball pretty efficiently against Notre Dame after that first quarter when Notre Dame went up. I think it was 21-7. I thought it was just going to be. I thought they were just going to blow out at that point. But no,
Louisville Notre Dame though they mellowed out and didn't keep pushing, keeping the pedal floored.
That or the fact that Louisville just adjusted correctly and was playing pretty good defense and then got back into the game. So. After that,
and the coach did bad game management.
True, very true. A lot of injuries throughout the game, so I don't know what it was with the injuries, but everybody seemed to be going down. The biggest one was what's his name, Boubacar Traore, linebacker. Boubacar Traore, Traore. Yeah, he went down, and I think immediately everybody thought it was like an ACL and that he was going to be, but he was walking around on the sideline during the game after that, so that's always a good sign. Some other players, I think Christian Gray was he got a little bit knocked up, and so did Riley Leonard a couple times. At one point, he had to be replaced by Steve Angeli just for one play. Looks like he got the wind knocked out of him. Who else?
Devin Ford was the one that fumbled that kickoff.
Yes, and then remember Ryan Harris made a point after that play because he was taken out of the game, and then there was another fumble later in the game by Jadarian Price, and he was taken out of the game. So now I ask this question, and maybe we can just present this after present this after the highlights, because I have a big problem with this, and I think Ryan Harris has a big problem with it too. But it also kind of involves the quarterback as well, because I think he's made a lot of questionable plays throughout these first 5 games. And why hasn't he been pulled? We'll talk about that. But Clutch, next play here is the Phil's first touchdown. And I think I slowed it down here afterwards. It'll dissolve and kind of show the same play again. I don't know if he got in. I think he might have been bobbling the ball, and there's a couple of these plays. Go ahead and play. Keep playing. Did it stop?
Yeah,
Did it stop? Yeah. I thought I had a little bit of a extra slow motion, but I thought he might have not gotten a foot in to that to the corner of that end zone. Again,
all these catches by these receivers, specifically the is it Brooks from Louisville? Ja'Cory Brooks had 2 amazing touchdown catches. That guy's going to be pretty good.
Oh, dude. Yeah, and one where the quarterback for Louisville was who got ran over basically just after he threw the ball, and he put that ball right into the guy's chest or whatever in the back of the end zone.
Ryan Harris likes to say he got folded up like a table.
I love Ryan Harris. Never get rid of Ryan Harris. The guy is awesome. He's a great hometown color commentator, but still great. Next play, what do we got here? This is Love's fumble, right? No, I'm sorry. This is Love's TD.
TD,
a little easy T. Had a good drive. I don't know how many yards that was, but they had a good drive and finished off by Love. And then here's the big run.
Yeah.
And wow.
Who caught them from behind like that? Who was that? 15?
So Xavier Watts caught him first, I thought, and then I think it was a freshman. I forget his name. Leonard Moore. So Leonard Moore, the freshman, was able to knock the ball out. And as we continue on, Notre Dame gets the ball back, and this is the pass to Greathouse, which you call the busted play, but it wasn't a busted play because the busted play has to be on offense. First of all,
well, I just thought
maybe busted play on defense.
The safety should have went with him, and the safety just sat there scratching his nuts.
So back that up real quick, and then the far left hand, back that up, and if you could actually see this, I know everybody on the listen to audio, but I'll explain it. So as he throws this pass to Greathouse, he's wide open, and if you look to the corner, the left hand corner, there was Bo Collins wide open as well. So if Greathouse wasn't open, Bo Collins would have been even more open and should have caught a ball if Leonard would have saw him. I don't know if he did it, but he had 2 wide open guys.
And that's something that I would like to say too, is that Bo Collins was pretty much, he probably shouldn't even have came out of the locker room because he had 1 catch for 5 yards. They pretty much forgot about him the whole game. The guy
there was actually one pass to Bo Collins, and I think it was like a screen type of pass where he had plenty of room to run afterwards, and he just dropped the ball, completely dropped the ball. So let's move on. Here's my favorite play of the day is the punt fumble. Bad snap, and who was that right there? Jordan Faison from the lacrosse team. Yeah, and it doesn't show it, but on the replay, if you watch the game, Faison continues on to there's a bunch of like Notre Dame students standing beyond the end zone, and it was the lacrosse team. So it was perfect for Faison. He went over there and he was like, "Yeah." So
I wondered who those guys were. I saw them at one point, and I'm like, "Why do they have all these students behind the end zone?"
Yeah, that was the lacrosse team. So they were pumped up. Obviously, Jordan Faison was pumped up. But great play, and set Notre Dame up for the next play, which have been Riley Leonard's 4-yard scamper or whatever. We'll dive into the end zone. Yeah. Big body Riley Leonard for another touchdown. I don't even know how many he has this year, but he's got a ton so far. And then moving on from there, we have Price's fumble. He fumbled the ball.
Yep.
And this is where I'm going to talk about the fact that Ryan Harris brought this up too. It's actually your boy Ned Flanders brought up a good point right here. Yeah, he brought up a good point. He said you got to put that ball up high and tight. You can't leave it hanging it out like carrying your baby in the park or something, man. You got it high and tight. Get that nose of the ball up.
Whatever, yeah. Ned.
Ned Flanders, the best color today, whatever, or for the game or whatever. At least that was probably his best call. Next play is if we scroll down a little bit, what do we got here? Yeah, that's an interception where Xavier Watts was just in the right place at the right time. Again, like I think Wayne had said, if our friend Wayne had said, hey, lucky play. But I don't think it's lucky because I think Xavier Watts puts himself in position, right? He's putting himself in position.
Yeah.
Regardless, the guy catches it, he's going to tackle him. He's in position, right? So in the perfect position. And he catches the ball afterwards as it comes through the guy's hands. So next play, what do we got? Yeah, this is the great play here by
Yeah, so as soon as I saw the
Love.
blockers, I was like, this is gonna be good.
Jeremiah Love. Yeah, great play. And read the blockers right, followed the blocks and right into the end zone. Tore the shirt off of him almost. I mean, you noticed that you were pulling that shirt at the end, but
Shirts are expensive too.
Yeah, way expensive, man. We can't afford that stuff. All right, next play. What do we got?
Oh, this is the last play of the game.
Yeah, last play of the game.
Right? What was the significance of that?
I don't know. It's just last play of the game. Good defense, Notre Dame coming through, like they do a lot of times,
Okay.
But this leads into what I was going to talk about. Actually, it doesn't lead into it because we'll talk about it in a sec.
Shut up, Ned.
Ned Flanders. So going back to what Ryan Harris was saying, you take two people out. You take Devin Ford out for the fumble on the kickoff return. Okay. And then you take Jadarian Price out. Whether or not they took him out, I don't know if they did or not, but I think Ryan Harris is saying they did. I mean, do you agree with taking out a player after a fumble or after some sort of mistake? Because if that's the reasoning you're taking him out, then why didn't you take Riley Leonard out during the Northern Illinois game to help us try to get back in the game? Maybe it resets his mind. I don't know what it does, but you didn't take him out, and we lost the game. We should be 5-0 right now. And Riley Leonard is a big part of that in the early get-go because of the fact he can't throw the ball downfield. Great house, that pass that we saw yesterday or whatever. I mean, yeah, wide open. If you can't make that, I mean, I could have made that pass. Clutch could have made that pass. It's just, I don't know. I don't get it. I just think that they're so stuck on Riley Leonard being the quarterback. And I don't know if that's NIL like we've talked about in the past, but it doesn't make sense that you would penalize a player for one mistake.
Yeah, I mean, Notre Dame seems like they've had this issue before where we don't think the quarterback that's in there should be in there. And I'll tell you, the coach every time is going to say, well, I'm putting the best player in there to give us the best chance at winning. And I'm always like, are you? I'm like, because I know there are players out there that maybe can't, that maybe they can't play. They don't look like they're number two and they sit the bench. But as soon as they're under those bright lights, something gets elevated. Something makes them play up higher than they have been showing in practice. And you never know if you don't ever throw that person out there. I mean, Peanut Butter and Jelly came in and did that handoff when I think Leonard got rocked or something at one point. And he looked just down in the dumps after that. I saw him singing the alma mater at the end, and he was going through the motions. He looked depressed. He looked like, why can't I get in there and play? Because I think he would do pretty good. I think
so too. I mean, this is a guy who won that bowl game against Oregon State. I don't get it. The guy's been in the program. How long's he been in the program? 3 years? He's been
it's a long time, yeah.
I mean, give the guy a shot. I mean, obviously you bring in a guy from Duke. You pay good money, whoever your boosters are. You pay good money for this guy to come in. He's one of the top-notch quarterbacks in the transfer portal. He comes in and he loses to a team like Northern Illinois. I'm sorry, but I pull him. If I'm the head coach, I pull him. I pull him because I want to win that game. If I lose to Northern Illinois, which we did, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing that you've lost to two MAC schools in the course of 3 years. I don't know. But
he did something during the game, I remember, and it wasn't something good. And he was on the sideline. Who's the offensive coordinator again for Notre Dame? Come on. Denbrock.
Yes, Mike Denbrock.
So Denbrock's like talking to him, and you could tell Denbrock is like using it as a teaching moment, but is being very aggressive. And Leonard's just sitting there smiling. He's kind of like, and I'm just like, I would have bitch slapped that fucker and said, hit the bench,
Right.
peanut butter and jelly's in, because I'm trying to teach you something and you're laughing and you're smiling about this. Now, we don't know what the conversation was, but
No.
you gotta, it's game time. Focus, bro. Don't sit there and laugh about whatever it is, because he's not telling you a joke. I'm sure that's not happening. I can almost count on it. He's using it as a teaching moment. And I just don't think this is, I mean, Denbrock should have a pretty good playbook. Hell, he was the coach down there at LSU. And I've heard people say that he's trying to sculpt and figure out what's Riley Leonard's best at. Well, we should have known that going in. This isn't a freshman coming out of high school and maybe you just don't know what he's got. I mean, we apparently thought that the quarterbacks on our bench currently were not up to starting, and we thought the NIL had something better to offer. And I still say to this day that you pull a quarterback out of NIL, there's too much of a learning curve to get him into the program and get him bonded with the rest of the team. If this is what we're seeing right now with this last game where he's starting to throw more, is that bonding happening? It's taken too long. We already got a loss. I mean, that's too long. That bonding should have happened all spring and in through the summer and the previous year even. You're not putting a freshman in there and making him play right off the bat.
No, and I totally agree. I think that Steve Angeli came to Notre Dame for a reason, to be the starting quarterback at Notre Dame. And I thought he was going to be after the Sun Bowl. But again, money plays a part, championships play a part. You got boosters, you got the administration, whatever it is. I mean, all kinds of pressure on the coach to make sure that you win. Well, he did win, and he had a great game. So I don't get it. Mm-hmm. You know, bring Riley Leonard in if you want to bring him in, but tell him, hey, you know, you're going to have to work for the job. I think they immediately told him that he was going to be the starting quarterback.
Yeah, that's shit.
So I think that's crap. Anyways, because you take all the competition away from like the spring ball, from fall camp, everything away, and I just don't agree with it. It just doesn't make sense. You had pointed out during game day, Herb Street had said, you know, it's not Riley Leonard, it's the receivers. And I think that's pure shit. That is such bullshit. Like it's as much bullshit as Herb Street bringing his fucking dog to every fucking game. It's like, you don't need to bring your goddamn pet. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Anyways, I think it's bullshit. Let's just push that aside because we got tons more to talk about. But go ahead if you want to add something onto that.
I did. I can't remember what I was going to say. I'll just jump in later. Oh, I'm going to say. I'm going to say this one more time. The last thing they said on the broadcast was, "That's one more." I think it was on the NBC broadcast actually, because I switched over. I killed Catholic Channel and pulled up to change turn Peacock off, and they said Notre Dame is taking one more step to the playoffs. And I'm like, dude, I still don't want to see this team in the playoffs. I don't care who the fuck. I don't care if they're the last team in the playoffs. They are going to struggle to beat anybody. I just don't think they can. They're not going to be. They haven't played anybody that's playoff quality. Look at Northern Illinois. They lost again.
Well, I mean, you can say all you want, but all Notre Dame needs to do is get into the close in the top 12 or whatever, right? Well, right now the rankings came out today. They're 13th in the coaches poll, and they're 14th in the AP poll.
That's great.
Now,
I don't want to see him play though, because it'll be a laughing stock. It'll be stupid again. They'll get their ass handed to them by Tulane or something like that, and it's gonna be like, oh, geez.
Just staying with, you know, all these commentators saying their two words about, you know, Notre Dame football, like Riley Leonard's not the problem, it's the receivers. And another guy, as I was just kind of searching or whatever, looking for rankings today, and I came by, you've heard of Fansided before, the website? Yeah, so I came by Fansided, and this guy, he's the content director, Cody Williams. He wrote an article about about the rankings, and in each team that was ranked, he wrote a little like blurb about them or whatever. He says this about Notre Dame: since the wild upset loss to Northern Illinois, calling Notre Dame anything other than impressive would be a miscarriage of justice. The latest entry was welcoming Louisville to South Bend and earning a hard-fought victory behind Riley Leonard. For Marcus Freeman's team to fully re-enter the college football playoff picture, however, the defense will have to tighten up against better teams on the schedule. What?
Yeah, and what did he just think the season started with the NIU game? Because what happened to College Station in Texas A&M? Does that just
I don't even get it, because the only reason why we're in these games is because of our defense.
Yeah.
It's not because of Riley Leonard. It's, they can mention Riley Leonard, but again, like, they didn't win yesterday because of Riley Leonard.
They outplayed us.
Special teams, our defense played a part in this. So again, like, if you look back with all 5 games, there's no question mark as far as defense goes. Even though we've lost 2 linebackers, Jordan Botelho and now Boubacar Traore, our defense is still rock solid. Mostly our secondary, Xavier Watts, Benjamin Morrison, and some of these new guys. We lost Jaden Mickey, right? Was it Jaden Mickey that left? And which was kind of odd watching him depart this last week, just out of nowhere. He has jumped into the transfer portal and basically taken a red shirt the rest of the year. I don't know, but I just find it funny when these people write things about Notre Dame that they have no clue about, because you didn't watch the game. You obviously didn't watch the last 5 games if you're saying that Notre Dame's defense needs to tighten up. Whatever.
I mean,
move it.
I just want to say this real quick, and you kind of alluded this earlier. Just on the stats of this last game, Louisville beat Notre Dame in total yards, passing yards, rushing yards, first downs, third down efficiency. Fumbles lost was a draw. They did have 1 interception. You can't tell me that 1 interception was the turning point. And they beat them in time of possession. All that, and they still lost the game. That was Notre Dame did not play that well of a game, at least on offense. Defense, they held them in check, and I think the rest of the game was lost by Louisville's coach making bad decisions.
You're absolutely
otherwise,
right.
Notre Dame could have lost that game really easy.
Anybody looking at the stat breakdown, just like you did just now, will look at that and say, it was the offense that needs to tighten up.
Yeah.
So
100%.
I don't know. Whatever. That's, whatever. Moving on. Hey, so this game was on Peacock. And this is an issue that we've kind of brought up year after year after year since they started doing this. They broadcast one game exclusively on Peacock, not NBC. They broadcast just Peacock. And you had mentioned a great point. Maybe this new athletic director, what's his name? He's the, and what was his former title?
Oh, he was NBC, like, big dude. I don't know.
Big dude on NBC. You had mentioned the fact that maybe this is about money now. And I didn't even really think about it. I mean, it was always a money grab or whatever. But usually in the past, it's been against a crap team. A MAC team, maybe Central Michigan was one. It wasn't Central Michigan one year. But now it becomes, now we're going to another level, maybe to another tier as far as one of the, well, it's an ACC game. So, and it's against Louisville, and Louisville's no joke. So is it now a money grab that we're putting these games on streaming, just like the Michigan State, Ohio State game last night on Peacock? Now, again, it's Michigan State was a little bit better, and they did hang on a little bit to Ohio State in the first half or whatever. But Ohio State, obviously, in the end of the game, whooped their ass. However, the fact is, it's two top 10, not two top 10 Big Ten teams, 2 big top 10 or Big Ten. I can't speak today. 2 top tier Big Ten teams, right? Michigan State football, they're up there somewhere. But again, like these 2 teams, why are you putting it on Peacock? I don't agree with it. I don't think it's a good idea as far as fans go. It's just like, why should we have to spend $8 to see one game? Now, I did the smart thing. I signed up for Peacock during the spring football game, and then I was going to leave, and then Peacock said, "Hey, how would you like to have Peacock for 99 cents for the next 6 months?" And I was like, adding it up, and I'm like, "Oh yeah. They'll take me to November, so I'll get past that one exclusive game." So it worked out. You paid the $8, but I told you you should have just used my damn account.
Yeah, it's all right. The girls are happy because now they can watch some other crap on there. So
that's good. That's true. Anyways, Notre Dame moves on. Now we are 4-1, ranked 13th, and the coach is 14th in the AP poll. And we have a bye week. So, Clutch, what do we need to work on in this bye week to improve once we play Stanford 2 weeks from now?
Well, get healthy, and they need to definitely probably work on the run defense. I think that's still a little soft. I haven't seen Stanford play, even though they're playing last night. So I don't know if they're run heavy or not or what.
Linebacker's an issue. We've lost 2. Oh, now Jordan Botello was our rock, and now he's gone for the year. So yeah, got some injuries. That was a pretty significant play by the quarterback when he ran that ball yesterday, and luckily he fumbled it. However, we do have some holes in the defense a little bit. Tightening it up. I don't know if we're going to need to tighten it up as much as we do the offense. I think the offense needs a lot of work. I think we need to come up with a game plan with Riley Leonard. Even though I keep reading other people say that, hey, he is who he is, let's just move on and make the best of it. Until we lose against maybe Navy, or maybe we lose against Army, both teams that are right now are, I think, 4-0 and getting some votes in the rankings. So the rest of the schedule: Georgia Tech, Navy, Florida State, which lost again last night. They are,
Wow.
I know, yeah. Virginia, Army, and USC, which USC is the only, USC is the only ranked team. Now, Navy and Army could be ranked if they keep on winning. Who knows?
I'm going to call right now. One of those 2 games are going to be a loss, and the USC is probably going to be a loss.
Yeah, I don't know. I predicted last week that we were against Louisville here, that we were going to get. You called it a trap game. Look at trap. Yeah, and and they were able to figure it out. So, what is the trap game then?
I don't know if there's a trap game. I'm just saying that I think they're going to go into Navy like Charlie Weiss did that one year. I think it was Weiss, or was it Willingham? But that's when they finally lost to Navy after, I don't know how many games, 30 years or something like that, 60 years, something like that. I think they're going to go in there, and Navy's going to give them trouble because Navy's passing a lot now. I mean, they had 200 and some yards last night against University of Alabama, Birmingham. So, and Army's, I don't know why Army's doing so good. I haven't heard anything about their offense being that different like Navy's is, but both those games are not going to be easy games. Everyone's ripping on us for having 2 Service Academy games. I agree. I don't think they need to have 2, just like they shouldn't have 2 MAC school games either. But yeah, I just see one of those 2 games being a big time trouble, and USC is always going to give us trouble. Who did USC play last night? They played and came out and won at the end. They were getting beat. Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Wisconsin went out and was killing them, and then they came back all in the 4th quarter, I think, and came back and won that game. And every time they scored a touchdown, their cocky ass wide receivers were doing like, Latin dances and shit in the end zone and stuff to the crowd. And I'm just like, yeah, USC hasn't changed at all with this coach. He's the same whole assholes. So,
all right, about a minute left here in the show. We got one more thing I was going to talk about, but I think I'm going to hold it until next week, since we got the bye week. We're going to talk about Dave Portnoy. He's offering $3 million as a booster, I guess, to basically, for the best quarterback every year. He's going to look into the best quarterback, and he's going to offer $3 million as NIL. So we'll talk about that next week. Last thing I wanted to talk about before we close the show, got about 30 seconds, is congratulations to Coach Shrewsbury, Notre Dame basketball team, who landed the number 14 player in the country, 5-star, Jalen Harlison. And they also nailed a 4-star forward in Ryder Frost. So Notre Dame basketball right now is ranked number 1 in recruiting
for next year. Yeah.
Wow. All right, let's get out of here, Clutch. Thanks again for joining us for another edition of Two Brothers Talking Notre Dame football and basketball sometimes. We'll catch you next week. Bye week. What are you gonna do, Clutch?
We're going to a winery.
Nice. All right. Bye.
They give it to Mannix. He picks up the first down again. And a touchdown. Unbelievable. You put them all up there, you get the seam, and you're gone.